Alright, sir. Then single line comment, multi-line comment, and documentation comment here we are getting. That's okay, fine. What is the single line comment actually? It allows the complete description in a single line. It allows the complete description in a single line. Right. What exactly the syntax for the single line comment? Two forward slashes, then a description. Next one, some example I've given. Then after that, multi-line comment. What is this multi-line comment now? Multi-line comment is like what? It allows the complete description in more than one line. Syntax is a slash star lines of description we can provide. Next one is what? Star slash. Next one, after that, example I've given. Then documentation comment. Next one is what? Documentation comment. What about this documentation comment? It allows the complete description in more than one page. In more than one page. Right, sir. Then what next one? Then after that. So this is documentation comment. In general, where we are able to use this documentation comment actually, in general, we will use documentation comments to prepare what? API documentation. Then I have to give clarity what is that API documentation. Tell me what is this API documentation actually? API documentation is a document. It may be an HTML file, or it may be a PDF file, or it may be like a document file, docx file, or it may be something else, whatever it may be, some file, some document. It will provide the complete description about the programming elements which we have used in our application. Here the programming elements are like what now? Like variables, methods, classes, abstract classes, interfaces, and so on. All these are like what now? Like programming elements what you are having. Next one, to prepare API documentation manually. If you want to prepare API documentation manually, it is somewhat a difficult process for us. It is not possible to prepare API documentation manually. Why? Because a lot of time it will take, right? Lot of efforts required. So to simplify API documentation preparation, Sun Microsystems has given a separate tool internally. What is the tool actually? The tool is what? Java Doc tool. Java Doc tool is able to prepare the API documentation in the form of which files? No, HTML files. Right, sir. That's okay, fine. Then how to use this? Java doc space test.java. Example also I given. First of all, I prepared something else like one program I prepared here. Then after preparing that program on command prompt, I have to use Java doc space employee.java. Then automatically it will generate some API documentation. Right, sir. Next one after that. Then what next one here? I have given one important interview question here. Now tell me guys, all of you now tell me in Java, how many types of comments are existed actually? How many types of comments are existed? Three types of comments are existed. Single line comment, multi-line comment, then documentation comment. Out of all the three lines of comments, out of all these comments, now tell me which comments are excluded in the API documentation and which comments are included in the API documentation. Single line comments and multi-line comments are included or excluded? Excluded in the API documentation which is generated from Java doc tool. Documentation comments are going to be included in the API documentation which we generated from Java doc tool. Right? Is my point is clear or not? Right, sir. That example also I shown there in the last class. Am I right or not? Then after that, then what next one here? After completion of this, I given one point here. In Java applications, to provide a description about our program, to provide description, Java 1.5 version, JDK 1.5 version has provided a new feature. What was that new feature, guys? Now tell me. Annotations. What was that new feature? Annotations. Then immediately you need to have a question in your mind. What was that question there? Now tell me, what is this question, sir? Really, you are not having any question. It's okay. It's very good. I may skip this topic. I may go for next part. If you're having question, then only I can discuss about it. Question is available or not? Right, sir. What was that question there? To provide a description in a Java applications, already what we have there? Already we have comments. Then what is the requirement to go for annotations? What is the requirement to go for annotations? This is the question. Right, sir. I need to give much clarity about this particular point, but everybody has to put more concentration. Ready to understand the answer for this question? All of you. Okay. Next, 5 to 10 minutes of time. Put more concentration, then only you can understand. Okay. If you want to sleep in my class, after 5 minutes you can sleep. Don't worry. But now, put more concentration. Previously, I given the total compilation process. I think you might be remembered that. One diagram I given. What was the diagram I given there? This is a .java file. For example, I'm going to take. What is this file here? No, .java file. Whenever you are taking .java file, I need to perform compilation or not? Right now here I have to go for like what no compilation. So now here it is like what no compilation process I have to take. This is like what no compilation. When we compile Java file, there automatically we are able to get which type of files are next one. Come on, which files here we are able to get after compilation of Java file? Come on, what we are able to get? .exe files, right? Dot class files, .class files, right, sir? When we are getting .class files, then what we have to do? We need to execute the program. How to execute this program now? Just we have to take like what now? Execution process. Tell me, who will execute these Java programs? JVM. Inside the JVM, an interpreter. Inside the JVM, an interpreter. Tell me, .class files here we are getting. What .class files are having? Which code is available inside the .class files? Byte code. Byte code. What is the nature of the byte code? Byte code is an intermediate code or directly executable code. Intermediate code. Is it following any operating system representations or not following operating system representations? Not following operating system representations. Okay, fine. To execute this neutral bytecode on any of the operating system, we need conversion. Then after that execution. That both the conversion and execution both can be done by which component in Java? JVM. JVM is responsible for converting neutral bytecode into native code and executing that native code. That could be done by JVM. Inside the JVM interpreter. Leave it. Now tell me, all of you now tell me guys. Compilation process is available. Now tell me guys, inside this compilation, how many phases are available there? Now tell me, in general, how many phases? No, 4 phases are existed. What are the 4 phases here? No, pre-processor. Then what next one here? No, compiler. Then what next one here? No, assembler. Assembler. Then what next one here? No, loader, link, editor. Loader, link, editor. Right, sir? My concept is right or wrong? My concept is right or wrong? Right or wrong? Wrong. Why it is wrong now? Tell me. Why it is wrong? Exactly. Pre-processor exist or not existed? Not existed. Pre-processor not existed in Java. That's why I've written it. Okay. Now this is compilation compiler. Now tell me, inside this compiler again, how many phases are available? 6 phases are existed. Tell me guys, then what are the 6 phases actually? What is first one now? Tell me. Lexical analysis. Then what next one here? Now tell me. Syntax analysis. Right, sir. Now tell me what next one here? Tell me what next one here? Semantic analysis. Then what next one after this? Intermediate code generation. Intermediate code generation. Then after that, what next one? You know, code optimization. Okay. Then after this code optimization, then what next one here? Code generation. All the phases are available or not? Okay, fine. Wait for a minute of time. If you observe this total process here, lexical analysis, next one is like what? Syntax analysis, semantic analysis, intermediate code generation, code optimization, then what next one here? Code generation. So these many phases are existent now. I don't require all the phases immediately. When I require any of the pages from this compilation or maybe compiler, by the time I will discuss the required phases. Okay, but now as part of my explanation, at present I required one phase. Which phase here I required actually? That phase is lexical analysis phase. If we want to answer for the question, why we need to go for annotations over the comments to describe some information in our Java program, for that question, I need to give clarity about like what no lexical analysis. All of you get my point or not? Now tell me what exactly the purpose of lexical analysis phase. What is the need of this lexical analysis phase? This information here we have to understand. Put more concentration. I have a Java program, maybe Java program or C or C++, whatever it may be, I have a program. When I'm trying to compile the program in the sense, what is the first phase in compilation? In Java compiler. Compile is the first phase in the sense, what is the first phase in our compiler? Understand it now. What is the first phase in compiler? Lexical analysis phase. Am I right or not? Lexical analysis phase. Now, whenever we are giving Java program to the compilation, immediately who will act on our program as the first one? Lexical analysis. That means lexical analyzer. So when we start compilation over our program, immediately who will take the responsibility of doing some operation over our program? Lexical analysis. That means in a lexical analysis, lexical analyzer, a machine is available. Who will perform this lexical analysis phase? No, lexical analyzer. What is the job of this lexical analyzer? What is the job of this lexical analyzer? Listen carefully. The job of the lexical analyzer is read the complete Java program, store the total Java program into a buffer. Read Java program, store the Java program into a buffer. Buffer is what? A small memory element. A small memory element, small or big, whatever it may be, some memory element. So read Java program from our .java file. That means dot class file, of course, .java file. Read the total Java program from .java file. Keep that program into a buffer. Storing Java program into a buffer for further operation. That storing Java program into a buffer is called as what? Buffering. Is called as what? Buffering. Tell me what is buffering? In a lexical analysis phase, lexical analyzer will read Java program and keeps the Java program in a buffer. The process of reading Java program and storing the Java program into a buffer is called as what? Buffering. That is step number one. Next point number two is what? After buffering the Java program, after storing the Java program into a buffer, lexical analyzer will divide this total program into number of pieces. Lexical analyzer will divide the total program into number of pieces, where each and every piece is called as a token. The total program will be divided into number of pieces, where each and every piece is called as what? A token. Each and every piece is called as what? A token. Please remember this point here. Token. Okay. Like this, how many tokens will be generated by lexical analysis phase? No, n number of tokens might be generated depending on how much program we have written. 100 lines of code we provided. Each line may contain maybe 5 or 10 number of tokens. 100 into 5 tokens, 500 number of tokens will be generated. So lexical analysis phase will generate a stream of tokens as an output. Lexical analysis phase will generate a stream of tokens as an output. Clear or not? Now I'm asking one question. Try to answer for it. Two jobs are available for lexical analysis phase. What are the two jobs of this lexical analysis phase? No, buffering and tokenization. Buffering and tokenization. What is buffering? Reading Java program from .java file and storing the Java program into a buffer. That is called as what? Buffering. Then what is tokenization? Dividing our total program into number of tokens. Token is nothing but smallest logical unit in our program. The smallest logical unit in our program is called as what? A token. A logical unit in our program is called as what? A token. So generating stream of tokens is nothing but what? Tokenization. That's two responsibilities of lexical analysis phase. One is buffering, another one is what? Tokenization. Generating tokens from our program. Clear or not? Everybody has to understand one small internal point now. While generating number of tokens, from our Java program, if we provide any comments, in our program, and when we give that program to the lexical analysis phase, when it is trying to generate the tokens, when lexical analyzer identifies the comments in our program, when lexical analyzer identifies the comments in our program, then lexical analyzer will remove that comments and its data from our program while generating tokens. At the time of generating tokens, if lexical analyzer identifies comments and its data, then lexical analyzer will discard or will remove or ignore the comments and its description while generating number of tokens. When we see the number of tokens, where only actual tokens here we are able to get, you are unable to identify. We are not going to get the comments and its description inside the tokens. While generating number of tokens by the lexical analysis phase, it will ignore or it will remove all the comments and its description from our source program. This is what exactly the capability of the lexical analyzer. You have to understand my point clearly. Nothing is there, only one point I am repeating number of times. But by seeing your faces, I am not getting clarity whether you understood or not. Tell me now, again now tell me, what are the two responsibilities of the lexical analysis phase? Buffering and tokenization. What is buffering? Reading Java program from Java file and storing the Java program into buffer. That is called as buffering. Then what is tokenization? Dividing total program into number of pieces, where each and every piece is called as a token. Stream of tokens are generated. Now what is the internal point I am telling there? While performing tokenization, at the time of dividing our program into the number of pieces, if we have any comments in our program, lexical analyzer will ignore or will remove or will discard that comments and its data from our program. Comments and its description will not be included in the generated tokens. Am I right or not? Now tell me, if I provide comments in our Java program, if I provide comments and its description in our Java program, then what is the life of these comments and its description up to the .java file, or are they going to be included inside the .class file? Up to .java file or up to .class file? That means if we provide comments in our program, the comments will travel along with the Java program up to how much? Up to .java file or up to .class file or up to runtime of our application? Up to .java file. If you provide comments in our Java program, they will be available up to .java file. They will not be included. They will not be available in a .class file. Am I right or not? Come on, guys. I'm not getting clarity. If we provide comments in our Java program, how long they are going to be available with Java program? Up to Java file only. That means .java file is a source code or not? .java file is a source code or not? Means that comments will be available, or comments are having lifetime up to source code. They will not be available in a bytecode. They will not be available at a runtime of our application. Point is clear or not? But my requirement is I want to provide some description in my program that I want to make available up to .java file, up to dot class file, and up to runtime of my applications. I want to provide some description of my program. I want to make available that description up to dot Java file, up to dot class file, and up to runtime of my application. That's my requirement. If I provide my description with the comments, how much they are available with our Java program? Up to dot Java file only. They will not come after compilation. They will not be available after compilation. They will not be available to the dot class file. Once they are not available to dot class file, how it is possible to make available at runtime of our application? So that comments and its description is available up to dot Java file. But my requirement is what? I want to make available my data up to dot Java file, up to dot class file, and up to runtime of my application. I have some specific requirements. I want to debug my program. I want to simplify the debugging of my program. I want to simplify testing of my application. I want to simplify some other tool. Maybe if it is a server-side application, I need my data, some description at runtime of our server-side application. So I have a number of requirements to make available my description at runtime of my application. I have a number of requirements for that. But if I use comments, then what is going to be happen? If I use comments, what is going to be happen? The comments and its a description is available up to dot Java file only. It's not going to be available to dot class file, and it's not going to be available to what here runtime of our application. That's the problem here now. So if you want to make available now, if you want to make available now, what we have to do, guys? Now tell me, if you want to make available the description at runtime of our application, then what we have to do? What we have to do there? In place of comments, we have to use what? Annotations we have to use. We have to use what? Annotations. Now tell me, what is the advantage of annotations actually? By using annotations, we are able to bring our description up to dot Java file, up to dot class file, up to runtime of our application. That's a requirement to go for annotations over the comments. What is the drawback with the comments? Now tell me. Come on, what is the drawback with the comments? Comments and its a description is available in the Java application up to dot Java file, not available to dot class file and runtime of our application. But if you want to make available our description up to dot Java file and up to dot class file and up to runtime of our application, what we have to use? What we have to use? Annotations. Annotations here we have to use. Is my point is clear or not? Right, sir. Right. Now let me have some small note on this particular interview question here. No? Right, sir. Then immediately I'm asked one more question. How commented data is available up to dot Java file? Why not it is available to dot class file? What is the internal reason? Internal reason is what? When we compile our program, lexical analyzer will remove the comments from our source program while performing tokenization. Because of that reason, the comments and its description is available up to dot Java file only. It's not available to dot class file. This is a question and answer here. I'm giving clarity. Try to understand this clearly. Now, what is the answer here? No, if we provide comments, if we provide comments in Java applications, lexical analyzer will remove the provided comments from Java application. Lexical analyzer will remove the provided comments from Java application while performing tokenization in a compilation process. Yes, sir. All of you are getting clarity or not? So what is the point here? I'm telling there clearly. So if we provide comments in Java applications, lexical analyzer will remove the provided comments from Java applications while performing tokenization in compilation process. That means what is the meaning of it now? Tokens will be available. sorry, not tokens, guys. Then comments will be available. What I have to specify there? Comments will be available. Comments will be available in Java applications. In Java applications up to .java file. Not available. Not available in which files? No, dot class files and up to runtime of our applications. Up to what? Runtime of our application. This question is very, very important. Even for if you are keeping 3 to 4 years of experience, definitely you may get this type of question. What is the requirement to go for annotations? Why? Because nowadays in every new technology we are using annotations. Every new versions of the Java programming languages, Java frameworks, maybe advanced technologies, everywhere we are using annotations, but people are not aware why annotations are coming. People are using annotations directly, but without knowing what is the route to come for these annotations. This is a basic route to come for what? Annotations. All right, sir. But here, what is our requirement here? If we provide comments in Java applications, if we provide comments in Java applications, Lexical analyzer will remove the provided comments from Java applications while performing tokenization and compilation process. Comments will be available in Java applications up to .java file, not available in .class file, and up to runtime of our application. But my requirement is what? If we want to make available description, if you want to make available data or description up to .java file, comma, up to .class file, and up to runtime of our application, runtime of our application, our applications, there we have to use annotations. There we have to use what? Annotations. That's it. There we have to use what? Annotations. This is a requirement to go for what? Annotations. Clear? Is my concept is clear? Definitely. This question you are able to get. Even on this Sunday maximum Sunday I'm planning to conduct this test. No, on this test damn sure question this was. This was damn sure question. Then definitely we have to prepare for that. Remember this, right, sir? Can I go for next one? Next point here. First interviewer will ask a question to you. What is that question? No. What is annotation? Simple question. What is annotation? What is your answer? No. What is your answer here? Annotation is a Java feature provided by JDK 1.5 version. It can be used to provide some description. Instead of saying description, I can say metadata. Data about the program is called as what? Metadata. Data about the data is called as metadata. To provide some description or metadata about our program inside the Java program, if you want to provide, there we have to go for like what? No, annotation. This answer we are able to give. Then immediately interviewer will ask the question. To provide a description in the Java applications, already we have comments. Then what is the requirement to go for annotations? There, what is your answer there? Your answer would be what? If we provide a description along with the comments in my Java program, that comments and its description will be removed by lexical analyzer as part of the compilation. So comments and its description will have life up to .java file only. They are not going to be available to .class file and up to runtime of our application. But as per the requirement, I want to bring my description up to .java file, up to .class file, and up to runtime of our application. So if you want to bring your description up to runtime of our application or up to .class file and up to .java file, there we have to use what? Annotations. Then immediately interviewer will ask a question to you. What is your requirement to bring a description up to runtime of your application? There we have to give answer. Because of my server-side programming, I need a description about my program at runtime. Because of simplifying debugging process, I need the description at runtime. Because of testing my program, I need some description at runtime. Because of testing, because of debugging, or because of server-side program, or because of my database analysis program, Because of these types of applications, I need to bring my description up to runtime of my application. Because of that reason, I have to go for annotations over the comments. Got it or not? If you give this much of answer to that interviewer will ask one more question to you. Interviewer will ask one more question to you. What is that one more question? No. To bring a description up to runtime of our applications, to provide a description at a runtime of our applications, we have already XML documents. Which documents are available? XML documents. We have already what? XML documents. To provide a description at runtime of our applications, we have already XML documents. XML technology is available. XML documents are existed for Java programs to bring data at runtime. Then what is the requirement to go for annotations? What is the need to go for annotations as a new feature from JDK 1.5 version? Before JDK 1.5 version, we are providing description to the program at runtime by using XML documents. We are going to keep our description in XML file. In Java program, wherever we require the data, simply we will connect with the XML document. We will read the data from XML document. Then automatically the data will come to Java program at runtime. Already this alternative is available. We can provide description to our Java program at runtime by using XML documents. Then what is the requirement to go for annotations? Then what is the requirement to go for annotations? This is the question. Right, guys. Now here I have to give some answers for you. Listen carefully, all of you know. That means indirectly what I am asking to you, what are the differences between XML documents and annotations? This is a question. Or what advantages we are able to have with annotations over the XML documents? In any way that interviewer can ask the question. Now answer for this question is what? What exactly the answers for this question? Everybody understand this clearly. Tell me guys, first of all tell me, what is this XML technology? Is it a Java technology? Is it a non-Java technology? XML is a part of the Java or outside of the Java? You have to give answer for it. XML is a part of the Java or outside of the Java? Come on, give some answer. Whether it is right or wrong, I will clarify it. Is a part of the Java or outside of the Java? Damn sure it is outside of the Java. Not the part of the Java. Just Java applications are using XML files. But XML is not the part of Java technology. Exception handling is a part of the core Java. Multi-threading is a part of the Java. File handling is a part of the Java. That's my point here. But XML is outside of the Java, not inside of the Java. It's not the part of the Java. It's not the counterpart of the Java. It's totally outside technology. But supporting point of view, we are using that XML documents to bring a data at runtime of our application. Okay, XML is what? XML is not the part of Java. XML is outside of the Java. If it is outside of the Java, understand guys, if it is outside of the Java, if you want to use that in our Java applications, every Java developer should know XML technology or not? Every Java developer must know that XML technology or not? So along with the Java programming language, again we have to start XML technology as a separate course or not? Again we have to search for an institute at Amirpet for XML technology course or not? Again we have to spend 3,000 or 4,000 rupees or not? Think about it. Is a headache, is a burden for the Java developer or not? Because of this reading data at runtime, learning total again a separate course, that is XML, is again burden to the developer or not? It's a headache to the developer. That is one problem. That is one problem. Answer my point clearly. Okay, fine. One thing I'm telling that, that is one drawback. Second one is what? If we want to use XML documents in our Java programs, first we have to check whether that XML document is a well-formed document or not. The document is in well-formed format or not. What is the meaning of well-formed format or well-formed document? What is the meaning of it now? To check whether XML document is a well-formed document or not, a set of rules and regulations are available. Number of rules and regulations are available. One or two examples I'm telling there. XML document is totally a tax related technology. XML document is a document where user defined tags are going to be provided. While writing that user defined tags, a set of rules and regulations are available. The total document should have exactly one root tag, one parent tag, exactly one parent tag. That is one root tag. For every open tag, there must be an ending tag. Understand my point here now? So like this, some set of rules and regulations are available. If any document is following the set of rules and regulations, then only the document is what? Well-formed document, or the document is available in a well-formed format. Yes, sir, all of you getting my point or not? The document is available in well-formed format when it follows well-formed rules and regulations. So before going to use that XML document in our Java program, every time we have to check whether that XML document is in well-formed format or not. Every time we have to check whether we are using well-formed format or not for that XML document. Again, it is extra burden to the developer or not. Two reasons I have given. What are the two reasons, guys? Now tell me, what is the first point here? No, first, Java developer should know XML technology. Second point is what? Before reading the data from XML document, every time we have to check whether XML document is in well-formed format or not. XML document is in well-formed format or not. That we have to understand. Clear or not? Next one, third point, point number 3. Observe carefully. This is my Java program. Here my Java program is available. Here XML document is available. This is XML document and this is what no Java program. Data is available in XML document. My Java program has to read the data into Java program. Am I right or not? To read data from XML document into Java program, we have to use parsing mechanisms, parsing techniques. Got my point or not? What mechanisms we have to use there? Parsing mechanisms or parsing techniques we have to use. Parsing data in the sense reading the data and validating the data. Of course, if you want to read the data, then we have to parse the XML document. Parsing XML document in the sense like we need to read the data. Answer my point here. How many parsers are available? How many parsing mechanisms are available to read data from XML document? So many parsers are available. More and more number of parsers are available. Not like single parser. More and more number of parsers are available. Understand my point here now? But every time, if you want to read data from XML document to Java program, every time developer must check whether we are using right parsing mechanism or not to read data from the XML document. Hundreds of parsing mechanisms are available. Out of all these parsing mechanisms, whether we are using right parsing mechanism or not to read data from XML document to Java application. So again, burden to the developer or not? Again, burden to the developer or not? Overall, 3 drawbacks I have given with XML documents. What are the 3 drawbacks? No. First one is we have to, that means we should learn, as we are the Java developer, we have to learn XML as a separate technology, as a separate course, as a burden to the developer. Second one is what? Before reading the data from XML document, every time we have to check whether that XML document is in well-formed format or not. Then third point, before reading the data from XML document, every time we have to check whether we are using right parsing mechanism or not to read data from XML document. Understand my point or not? Now observe carefully, all the things are giving burden to the developer or not? This is somewhat burden to the developer or not? So now I want to reduce burden to the developer. I don't want to go for, I want to reduce burden to the developer. Why? Because see, for example, I'm telling there, if version by version is coming on a technology in the sense that all the evolution, that all the versions evolution or new versions are giving flexibility to the developers or not? Come on guys, I'm telling you. For example, you have a mobile phone. For example, initially Nokia standard is 1500 rupees now. Now we are having Samsung smartphones. Why we are taking Samsung smartphones now? For getting flexibility or not? If it is a Nokia standard, it is 1500, no internet, no WhatsApp, no YouTube, nothing. But if we take that, what I'm telling you, smartphone there, everything is available to us or not? Now where we feel comfortable now, tell me, with Nokia 1500 rupees phone or Samsung 15,000 rupees phone, which one is better for us? Samsung, definitely Samsung. That is more comfortable to us. That means technology is giving flexibility or not? New version of a particular technology is giving more flexibility to the developer or not? Answer my point here now. So here also, what is the point I'm telling there? whenever we want to get a simplicity or flexibility in the application development, definitely we have to check with the new features of the new technology. Now in this particular context also, XML is giving some burden to us, to the developer. To avoid that burden, I need a Java feature to provide description up to runtime of my application. That means to reduce burden to the developers, I have to ignore XML technology. I have to remove XML documents. If you want to remove XML documents, in place of that, we need a Java alternative. If you use a Java alternative, no need to learn XML technology separately. Why? Because that alternative is already in Java. If it is Java alternative, no need to check whether the XML document is in well-formed format or not every time. Why? Because already we are going to use that Java alternative. If I use Java alternative, no need to check every time whether we are using right parsing mechanism or not to read data from XML document. If you are using Java alternative, no need to parse separately that XML documents. Why? Because it's a part of the Java. There we are able to provide description. That Java alternative was provided by Sun Microsystems in JDK 1.5 version. That Java alternative. The Java alternative is what? The Java alternative is what? Annotation. Annotation is a part of the Java, not in outside of the Java. But XML is what? Outside of the Java. So XML is giving burden to the developer, but annotations are providing simplicity to the developers. Annotations are providing simplicity to the developers, but XML is providing what? Burden to the developers. Because of this reason also, we are able to use annotations over XML documents. Nowadays, in the latest technologies, everywhere, annotation is becoming as an alternative for what? No, XML documents. If you come for advanced Java, if you go for servlets programs, web.xml file we have to write previously. But now we can use annotations in place of web.xml file. If we go for Hibernate, where some mapping files here we are able to write. In place of mapping files, nowadays we can use what? Annotations. If we go for Spring Framework, there are also some configurations we required in XML files. But nowadays we can use like what? No, annotations. Similarly in web services. Similarly in the struts framework. Similarly in JSF framework. Similarly, in more and more number of technologies, newer technologies, annotations are becoming as the replacement for XML documents. Right, sir. All of you are getting clarity on this point now? Simple. My question is very clear. What is my question now? To bring a description up to runtime of our applications, already we have XML documents. Then what is the requirement to go for Java? Then what is your answer, guys? Now tell me. Your answer should be what? Three reasons I given, 3 points I given. Point number 1. Java developers must learn XML technology, burden to the developer. Second one is what? Before reading the data from XML, every time we have to check whether that XML document is in a well-formed format or not. That is again burden to the developer. Third one is what? Before reading the data from XML document, every time we have to check whether we are using right parsing mechanism or not to read data from XML document. All these points will increase burden to the Java developers. So to avoid this burden to the Java developer, we need a Java alternative. The Java alternative was provided by JDK 1.5 version. That is what? Annotations. Question and answer is clear or not? Damn sure you can expect this question also in our interviews. Definitely, even if you are keeping 3 years of experience there we are able to get this type of questions. But my intention is not to discuss much about annotations, guys, here. My intention is description and metadata is coming there. That's why I'm discussing much more about this metadata. So, but annotations is a separate topic for us. Nearly 4 to 5 hours of time I have to spend for these annotations. Annotations topic separately we are able to get. So there I'm able to discuss about this total annotations concept, how to declare annotations and how to access annotations, how to get the data from annotations, how annotations are working internally, how to define our own annotations, how to customize our annotations. Then all the things I'm able to discuss with you clearly in annotation separate topic. But here my concept is what? Java programming format. Their comment section. For the comments, alternative for comment is what? Annotations. And annotations we are discussing a little bit. That's why I given one more question like what? XML versus annotations. Up to this part only I covered here inside this one. Are you getting my point or not? Right. So now let's have small note about like what now? This XML. That means this particular point here. Then what is that interview question here? I have to cover, guys. Now tell me. My interview question would be like what now? In Java applications. In Java applications to provide description or metadata, to provide description at runtime in Java applications, to provide description at runtime, we have already XML documents. XML documents. Then what is the requirement? What is the requirement to use annotations? Guys, this question is very, very important and everybody has to understand this. Why? Because even if you keep 3 to 4 years of experience in our resume, you will get this particular question, up to this question. But how to declare annotations and how to use annotations and everything I will discuss with you later on. But as of now, here we have to understand answer for this particular question. All right, sir. What is the answer here? No. Right, answer will be like what? No. If we use XML, if we use XML documents in a Java applications, if you use XML documents in Java applications to read, that means to provide data or description at runtime, then we are able to get the following problems. The following problems. Right, sir. Then what are the various problems here? No. Point number 1. We must learn XML technology. We must learn XML technology. Point number 2. Every time we have to check whether we are using, we have to check whether the XML document is in a well formed format or not. Well formed format or not. Every time we have to check whether that XML document is in well formed format or not. Then what is the third one here? No, third point is what? Right, sir. Every time we have to check whether we are using right parsing, mechanisms or not, right parsing mechanism or not to read data from XML document. Right, sir. These are the points here we have to understand clearly about this particular content. So then what is the alternative here? No? Then here what is the conclusion I'm telling there? To overcome all the above problems, we have to use a Java alternative. We have to use a Java alternative, that is what? Annotations. That is what? Annotations. Right, sir. Now, this is the answer here we provided. Right, sir. Once again, I'm telling there the total internals of annotations and everything I will discuss in the future in annotations topic. Separate topic is available for us. But here just I introduced annotations. Understand my point here? Just I introduced annotations, but don't go in depth about like what annotations immediately. You will not understand it. If you want to understand annotations effectively, what we require here, no, complete awareness on core Java is required. Then only we can understand it. So at the end of the core Java, we have a topic like annotations. There I will discuss for it clearly. Can we create our own XML configuration file for Java? Why not? Depending on the technology or framework, we can create our own configuration files also. But you need to provide the mechanism how to read data from XML file and how to access the data in Java applications. Yes, we can do that anyway. Right, guys? Observe carefully. If you understand it, I have a question. That means I want to give a small note. What is that note here? In enterprise applications, what is the note here I'm telling there? No, in enterprise applications, wherever we have used XML documents previously, there we are using annotations as an alternative. That means annotations is acting as what? An alternative for that means an alternative for XML documents in our enterprise applications. I'm telling to you clearly, in the previous applications, in the older technologies, everywhere XML documents we are using, maybe in the serverless applications or maybe in a web app, that means like what now? Hibernate applications, maybe in the Spring applications, in the Struts applications, in JSF applications, in web service applications, in a older part, only XML documents. But in the latest technologies are using what? Annotations in place of what? No, XML documents. So here, what is the conclusion here? What is the note here I'm telling there? Note kind of point is what now? So because of this reason only, we are able to use annotations as an alternative for XML documents in enterprise applications. Right, so this is a point here we have to use. We are able to use annotations as an alternative for XML documents in enterprise applications. Yes, sir. All of you are getting it or not? But I have a question now. If you complete it, then I'll give question. People are writing the notes. Complete it. And one more thing, all of you are preparing for the exam right from beginning. Right. If I complete the Java programming format, then next topic will be Java naming conventions. That will be the last part in our introduction part. That means one unit will be completed with that. On that directly I will put one exam there. Nearly 30 to 40 questions I will give. There we have to write the information. I will correct the question papers. Then I will give the status of your papers inside the classroom. If it is possible, I will read out your answers also. Can I do that? No? No or yes? First of all, you are not yet writing the exam there, but still you are saying, no, sir, don't read your answers in the classroom. No? Right. Anyway, then I will give that pattern to you clearly. But if I conduct any exam, that examination must be useful for our company written test. In that way, I have to conduct the exam, not like in normal way. So the questions what I am going to be selected, that questions would be the question bank for you. At least if you prepare all these questions before any company written test, you will be selected in the company. For every unit, I am going to conduct this type of test. If you gather all the questions at a single place, if you prepare for all the questions, definitely you will get knowledge, and at the same time, you will clear your interviews and written tests in the companies. If any company is conducting written tests on Java, in that way, I'm planning for all. Don't worry. Topic wise, we are able to get that questions. Okay, right. So, right, sir. The next question is what? Sir, okay, then everything is okay, sir. You compared XML documents and annotations that I understood at my level. That's okay. But here, my question is what? My question is what? My question is what? Which technologies are using XML and which technologies are using annotations? Can you give clarity on it? I know that. I know that the differences between XML and annotations. Now I understood clearly the intention of annotations over XML. That's okay. But can you tell me which technologies are using XML and which technologies are using annotations? No. I want to know that clear-cut separation between technologies about these XML documents and annotations. I want to know the clear-cut separation. Right, sir. If it is a case, no, then I will give a list of technologies. Now, first of all, let me go for like what no XML-based technologies. Then after that, annotations-based technologies. Annotation-based technologies. XML-based technologies. Next one is what? Annotation-based technologies. Let me classify this one. I want to give some list. Right, guys. Up to this clearly understand this. First one is like what now? Up to JDK 1.4 version. XML based. XML is used up to like which version of the Java? Up to 1.4 version. Right. Annotations are available from which version of the Java? Which version of the Java? JDK 1.5 version. From JDK 1.5 version onwards, which one is available there? No, annotations are existed. That's okay, fine. Next one is JDBC 1.3 version, JDBC 3.0 version. Up to that, which one is existed here? No, XML documents are available in one or two occasions. Of course, in JDBC using XML documents is very, very less requirement, but still it is possible there in one or two situations now. But in place of that, now JDBC 4.0 version onwards, which things are available there? No, annotations are existed here. Next one is servlets. Then what is that? No, 2.5 version. Up to servlets 2.5 version. Which one is existed there? No, XML documents are available. Right from servlets 3.0 version onwards, what things are available here? No, annotations are existed here. Then after that, then what next one here? Starts 1.x version, purely XML based. Struts 1.x version is purely what? XML based. But whereas struts Struts is a framework actually. Web framework actually. 2-point expression is purely annotation based. Struts 2-point expression is what? No, purely annotation based. The next one is like what? No, JSF 1-point expression. JSF is also be like what? No, like a web framework. Now it's a technology, of course. Now JSF 1-point expression is a XML based. JSF 2-point expression is purely what? No, like annotation based. Next one is EJB's 2-point expression is what? XML based. EJB's 2-point expression is what? XML based. EJB's 3-point expression is purely what? Now annotation based. Right, sir. Now similarly, Spring 2-point expression up to some features in 2-point expression, little bit annotations are introduced there, but effectively annotations are available in like what? No, Spring 3-point expression, or else I'm able to say like what? No, up to Spring 2.4 version, it is like what? No, XML based purely. Now here Spring 2.5 version onwards, annotations are available. Not exactly in 3.x version here, no, 2.5 version onwards, little bit annotations are introduced, but more number of annotations are introduced in Spring 3.x version. Observe carefully. Then after that, after completion of this, and so on and so on and so on, so many technologies. I'm not going to remember all these things. You are not required to maybe not required to butify all these things now. So the thing is what? Some of the examples can are given that we can understand clearly. Right, so now this is exactly what I'm telling there, that XML based. That means what I'm telling to you clearly, which technologies are using XML documents and which technologies are using annotations. Now see these numbers, actually technology numbers. No, by seeing these technology numbers here, we are getting one clarity. All older technologies are using what? XML. All newer technologies are using what? All older technologies are using what? XML. All newer technologies are using what? Annotations. As the point is clear or not? My point is clear or not? Okay, right. Now this is what exactly the point here I'm telling there. Okay, fine. But listen, one more point. Older technologies are using XML documents. Newer technologies are using annotations. Means that what you are thinking now? In a newer technologies, is it not possible to use XML documents? Up to now, I said to you, all older technologies are using XML, all the newer technologies are using annotations. It means that, do you think about it? Is that XML documents are totally removed from newer technologies? Is that XML technologies is removed, removed total? Newer technologies are removing that XML documents totally? No, no. Answer is what? What is that answer here? I'm telling there. In newer technologies, XML is optional. In newer technologies, XML is what? Optional. What is the meaning of it now? In newer technologies, if we want to use XML, we can use it. But there is an alternative for XML, that is what? No, annotations. You can, if you want to ignore that XML, then you can ignore it. Then we can go for annotations. But XML documents are also be supported in newer technologies. XML documents are also be supported in newer technologies. Are getting my point or not? What's the point I'm telling there? In all the newer technologies where we have used annotations, where XML is not ignored totally, XML technology, XML documents are not totally removed. As per the requirement, still if you want to use XML documents, there we can use XML document. Or otherwise, if you want to go for annotations without XML, we can go for it. Alternative is available. But still, I want to use that XML documents there, then still we can go for. We have an option to use XML document in all the newer technology applications. Guys, following or not? Right, sir. Huh. Now tell me, today trending is what? XML or annotations? Annotations are trending. Okay, XML is somewhat old, but still we can use XML documents in our applications. That's okay, fine. That part is completed, guys. Now this is totally comment section. Now we are discussing Java programming format. Am I right or not? In Java programming format, this is totally comment section. Just 1 minute. Total view. What we discussed in the comment section that I want to know. Tell me guys what points I covered totally in a comment section actually. First one is given the importance of comment section. Tell me what is the requirement of the comment section? What I given the information there? In Java applications, it is convention to provide some description before write the program. To provide description before write the program, there we have to use what? Comment section. In a comment section, we have to use comments. How many types of comments are available? Three types of comments. What are the three types of comments now? Single line comment, multi-line comment, documentation comment. Single line comment is what? Which allows the description in a single line. What is multi-line comment now? Which allows the description in more than one line. What is documentation comment now? Which allows the description in more than one page. Right. Then what is the purpose of using documentation comment now? To prepare API documentation. What is API documentation? API documentation is a document. It may be an HTML file, it may be a notepad, it may be a text file, it may be a PDF file, it may be a doc file, it may be a docx file. It will provide the complete description about our programming elements which we have used in our program. Then some examples. API documentation we can prepare manually, and we can prepare by using some Java doc tool. Manually, if we are trying to prepare API documentation, it will take a lot of time. So to overcome this problem, Java has given us a separate internal tool. That internal tool is what now? Java doc tool. Then immediately, do you have any existed API documentation there? Yes, sir. Already we have some API documentation for Java predefined library. Already we have seen that. Next one is it possible to prepare API documentation for our own Java program? Is it possible to prepare API documentation for our Java program? Yes, we can prepare. How it is possible? By using which tool? Java doc tool. What is the syntax to use Java doc tool? Java doc space file name dot Java. Got my point or not? There we are able to get API documentation. Now tell me, Java doc tool is able to prepare API documentation in the form of which files? No, HTML files. In the form of which files? No, HTML files. That's okay. There we can see the total API documentation. Good. Next one. If I provide three types of comments in my Java program, single line comment, multi-line comment, documentation comment, and if we prepare API documentation by using Java doc tool, then which comments will be available inside my API documentation? Documentation comments are only be included inside the API documentation. Which comments are not going to be available in API documentation? Single line comment, multi-line comment. These two things are not going to be available in the API documentation. Is my point is clear or not? Right, sir. Then what next one here? After completion of this particular topic, then we have understand the next point. After understanding this API documentation Java doc tool, next point is what? To provide a description in Java program, JDK 1.5 version has provided a new feature. What was that new feature there? Annotations. Then immediately we are getting a question. What is that question there? To provide description in Java applications, already we have comments. Then what is the requirement to go for annotations? This is the question. Here the answer is what? If we provide comments and some description in our Java program, then as part of the compilation, lexical analysis phase will remove comments and its description from Java program while performing tokenization. So comments and its description is available with Java program up to .java file only. They are not going to be available up to .class file and up to runtime of our application. But if you want to, as per our requirement, to simplify my debugging, to simplify testing, and to simplify for the sake of this runtime server side applications, we need to bring description up to runtime of our application. And that means we need to bring our description up to .java file, up to .class file, and up to runtime of our application. If you want to bring our description up to runtime of our application, there we have to use annotations over the comments. Then immediately we are getting one more question. What about this question here now? To provide description to the Java program at runtime, to provide description to the Java program at runtime, already we can use XML documents. Then what is the requirement to go for annotations? This is a question. Here, what is the answer for this question here now? Answer is very clear. XML is not Java technology. It is not the part of the Java. So if you want to use XML documents for our Java applications, as a Java developer, first we must learn XML technology. Next one, before going to read data from XML document into our Java program, first we have to check whether this XML document is in well-formed format or not. If it is not in well-formed format, you may get some errors clearly while reading the data from XML document. Another one, to read data from XML documents, we have to use number of parsing mechanisms. Different parsing mechanisms are available. But every time what we have to do, whenever we are trying to read the data from XML document, every time we have to check whether we are using right parsing mechanism or not. If it is not right parsing mechanism, right results are not going to be generated. Some problems here we are able to get. So because of that reason, every time we can use we can check whether we are using right parsing mechanisms or not. That is one point here. Before that, one more point here we have to understand. Before going to read the data from XML document, every time we have to check whether we are keeping that XML document in the right location or not. Before going to read the data from XML document, we have to check whether we are keeping that XML document in the right location or not. If it is not in right location, there we are able to get file not found exceptions. There we are able to get like what, no, file not found exceptions. Here we are able to get if that XML document is not in a right location. Answer my point here. I need to give this point also clearly. Where I given that, no, now we get that the third, fourth point here we have to understand clearly. What was that fourth point here? We have to observe that clearly. Right, sir. Now here, every time we have to check. Every time we have to check. Every time we have to check whether the XML file is existed in the right location or not. Every time we have to check whether this XML file is existed in the right location or not. If it is available at right location, then it's okay. Otherwise, we are able to get a file not found exceptions. Some exceptions here we are, see, for example, file is not available in the specified location, but we are trying to read the data from the file which is not existed. Then automatically we are able to get like what, no, file not found exceptions here we are able to get or not. So this kind of problems here we are able to get clearly. So because of this reason, we need to go for like what, no, we need to go for a Java alternative. What is the Java alternative to overcome all these problems? What is the Java alternative actually? Java alternative is what? Annotations. Good, sir. Then now tell me, is that annotation is an alternative for XML documents or not? In all the enterprise applications, we can use annotations as what? An alternative for XML documents. That's okay. But which technologies are using XML and which technologies are using annotations? No. All the older versions are using XML. All the newer versions are using annotations. But in all the newer versions also, XML documents we can use as per the requirement. It is optional to use XML. In place of this XML, if you want to go for alternative is available, that is annotations. But still, if you want to use XML document, then we can use that XML document. Right, sir. Then after that, then I can ask one more question to you. Now try to answer it, just general knowledge purpose. Are these annotations are the total replacement for XML documents? Can I say that annotations are the complete alternative, complete replacement for XML documents? Come on, guys. Can I say that? Can I say like that? Are these all these annotations are the complete alternatives for XML documents? No, not at all. Up to some part, up to Java applications. Inside the Java code, annotations are the alternatives for what? XML documents. But XML is a powerful technology. XML is a powerful technology. It not only for Java applications, it can be used for so many other technologies also. Like for .NET applications, we can use XML. For Python also, we can use XML. For server-side programming, for some different purpose also, we can use XML. So annotations are replacement for XML documents up to Java programming. Annotations is a Java feature, but XML is not Java feature. XML can be used for .NET applications and Python applications and Java, any other type of applications also we can use what, no, XML documents. So XML is a powerful technology for representing data in effective manner. Understand my point here clearly. But annotations are annotations are the alternatives for XML documents up to Java program only. Annotations may not be available in Python. Annotations may not be available in .NET. Annotation scope is not available outside of the Java. But XML scope is available outside of the Java. So we cannot say annotations are the total replacement for XML documents. Annotations are the replacement for totally XML documents. No, this statement is wrong. XML is having its own advantages, but annotations are the replacement for XML documents up to Java programming only, not in outside of the Java programming. Yes, sir. Got it or not? So totally, this total part comment section is completed. Then after this comment section, that what next one, sir? Now tell me, what is the next content here? What is that next one here? No, package section here. We have to understand package section. Okay, guys, and just one small request today. At 10 o'clock, I have to take demo class. So 10 minutes before I have to restart this webinar actually. So today only, I want to stop this session here, and tomorrow I will continue the session. and immediately I need to restart this webinar for the sake of the 10 o'clock new batch. So tomorrow I will continue the remaining part here. Package import, remaining part tomorrow we are going to check it. Okay. Then now 10 o'clock I am going to take a demo class for full stack Java and for core Java. If you are interested, we can sit here. Otherwise, you may leave and regularly we can attend the sessions here now, right? But today I'm going to take 10 o'clock only for what now? Overview. That means demo class I'm going to take there. That depends on your interest. If you want to sit here, you can sit. Otherwise, you can leave it now, right? Thank you guys. Thanks a lot. Tomorrow we'll meet. Guys, those who are in online, those who are in online already, that full stack packages are available in online students. No, already that full stack roadmap and everything was given. One time contact with our admin people. Our admin people will explain that full stack and everything. Okay. Right, sir. Already roadmap I given about this full stack in our office there. Then admin people contact person is Bhavani. You can call to Bhavani and Bhavani will tell all the information about this full stack and everything. Right. Some of you are waiting for full stack. Already I given that. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thanks a lot. Good morning. Good morning. Richardson. Good morning. Thank you. Thank you guys. Thanks a lot. I'll meet on tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll explain the remaining part.